What's up, y'all? Welcome to video number 3 of our basic obedience series. Today we're going to be working on recalls, right? So recalls basically just means we want the dog to come back to us every time we call them, right? So whatever your recall word is, whether it be their name, Fido, come, whatever you want, as long as you get the result of your dog coming back to you whenever you call them. So we're gonna go over step by step of how I teach a recall, right? So the first thing you want to do is get your dog ready to work, like we always talked about. So have your food, have your training marker. So mine is my leash, my collar, excuse me. Put our working collar on. Working collar is on. Normal collar is off. People walking around the park today, so we don't want our dog to run off. So the best thing you want to do is keep your dog on a long line. I use Flexi. And what I like to do is I use it all the way out to its maximum and then lock it, right? So I'll just drop it. So now she can go off, she can do whatever she wants to do. Like she's laying down now, which is perfectly fine. I'll stretch it all the way out. So now I have that distance, but I still have control over it, right? So my recall marker is my whistle. So whenever I blow the whistle, she has to come back to me to see what I want to give her. Whether that be water, whether that be food, toy, reward, whatever. Right? So when we're first doing it, we'll take our long line, right? So take our long line. I'll give her a little bit of space, right? I'll give her a little bit of space. She makes her own space. We'll use our marker. And start putting pressure to bring her in. She gets here, mark it, reward. Right? And remember, every time you use your marker, your YES or your clicker, that means that work is finished. They can go back and do whatever they were doing, right? So she goes back to whatever she was doing. I get my recall marker, and I make her come to me, right? Put a little bit of pressure. We want that recall to be 100% every time it gets here. Mark it, reward it. I think I was off screen a little bit. Let's do that again. Rep these out a couple times before we go to the next step of how we can get these off leash. Isn't really important right now. So we're not really worried about the dog sitting in front of us or giving us a down or anything like that. The only thing that we're worried about right now is making sure that the dog comes back to us as soon as they hear that marker. Let's get a couple more. Start to fight. So we'll make sure that my recall is 100% every time. When I whistle, that means you have to come through. Gets here, mark it, reward her for coming through. Right? As soon as she starts to give me what I want, I turn that pressure off of her. Let's do one more. starting to get the hang of it now. She's understanding that, okay, when I hear it, I have no choice but to come to you, right? So the same progression goes for everything, right? Except this was different because we added the word first. This time, you need context and communication before you get into trying to test the power of the recall, right? So you want to load it, and every time you use that word, you want to make sure that you're reinforcing it with something. So you're either adding that pressure to make it 100%, force them to come to you, or you're marking it with your clicker or your YES. So the difference between how we start the sit is that we lured the sit, right? We lured it, click, lured it, yes, lured it, yes, lured it, yes, lured it, yes. Same thing with the down, lure, yes, lure, yes, lure, yes. But now we're using our word off the jump because now we need to go ahead and mark it to show her that this is what you need to do. Because it'd be kind of unfair that we just, what we're doing is just pulling on the leash, and now it's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So we give our marker first. So that's our information, and now we have permission to give that pressure, right? We've already given the dog the command. Now we just need to reinforce it, whether that be through pressure or that be through rewarding them because they did it. Now this right here is going to take a whole bunch of reps of you doing it not necessarily perfectly, but it has to be executed well enough to where the dog understands that whenever this is heard, this is what I do. So you can't really deviate and go. You can't really deviate from the command and try to change it while you're teaching it, because that's not going to work that way, right? So what you got to do is make sure you have something that you can stay consistent with, and every time you consistently say that, you make it happen. It happens. It happens. So now the dog understands that, okay, when I hear this happens, I'm going to beat the pressure. I'm going to beat the pressure. So if what they're trying to do is get to you before you start putting pressure on the leash, that's when you know that you have a good enough recall to where you can just start saying it without adding pressure, right? Just like that, right? She understands that when that whistle is blown, she's gonna get pressured. It's coming to me, so now she's trying to avoid that pressure by going ahead and coming to me. And that's how you know that you have a pretty decent recall. And that's it. That is recalls with me and Capri. We'll see you guys in the next one.